Well, when I was first ordained, I was full of enthusiasm. I believed in what the church taught, and I was out to change the world. But some of the best advice I got as a young priest is remember that you serve the Messiah and that you're not the Messiah. And my family and friends always reminded me of that, and it was very wise. Because it is very easy to judge people and to judge the world by appearances, by respectability. I've been a priest of 28 years. I served in many different parishes where people are well off, where people are poor, where there is great brokenness, where there was tremendous success. And one of the things that I have learned, and Jesus points to this in the gospel, he makes an option for the poor and the broken because they are the ones who need God. St. Vincent de Paul, I think, once put it, he said, you must always love the poor. They're not always easy to love, but you must love them because they need God's love. And you know, that's very, very true. I have come across people's lives recently. I have come to realize as a priest that the people who think that they're most broken in sin are the people who think that God doesn't love them. And the simple message that they need to hear and accept in their hearts is whatever they've done, however they've run away like the prodigal son to enjoy life of pleasure, to waste all their talents, all they need to do is to open their hearts to God's love. And what I as a priest need to do is to help them to believe that, because people don't. And that's the danger about a dark life, and that's the danger about sin. If we get trapped in it too much, we end up believing that God does not love us. And when we go there, it's very hard to be free of that. And that is the role of the priest as the person of Christ, to search those people out and to help them to believe that God's love will never abandon them and that God's loving mercy will call them back. And that's what Pope Francis so wonderfully has been doing in these last number of years, but especially in that year of mercy that we had. That is probably the most important part of the gospel, calling those who feel that God doesn't love them because of what they've done back to his transforming love. Some people ask me, what does it mean to have a personal relationship with Christ or with Jesus Christ? And when I was a young student, I never really could understand what that question meant. But looking back on it now, I think where it simply comes from is talking to God in your own heart, talking honestly, and that sometimes might mean being angry, telling him that you're lonely, complaining about the challenges that you're facing and trying to follow his way. It also means sharing with him your joys, and it means speaking to him as a real person. And that's what the Eucharist is about. We believe that in the Eucharist, our teaching is that Jesus is really present. It's actually believing that he is a real person who hears you, who loves you, who you can argue with, and he will answer your prayers, not as you want, not maybe that day, but he will answer your prayers. One of the things that always fascinated me, I loved theology when I was studying theology, loved the scriptures, and always wanted to break those scriptures open. And I'm still trying to do that after 28 years. But the person of Jesus Christ that comes out of those scriptures is the most incredible person. And getting to know him, the sacrifices that he made, the life-giving sacrifices that he made. Dorothy Day once described him as the man who comforted the afflicted and afflicts the comfortable. And that's true in our own life too. But the more you get to know him, and you must read the scriptures to find out, the Catechism teaches us, ignorance of the scriptures is ignorance of Christ. The more you get to know him and ask him, how did you get through what you had to face? Help me to get through what I have to face. When he is real, and when you take him seriously in your life, not just fixing problems, not just getting through the exams or getting the job or whatever you want, when you take him seriously and ask for a share in his spirit, he will not disappoint. In fact, he is the only one who who will never truly let us down or forsake us in life.